Hi guys. I think I always seem to apologize, or at least feel like apologizing when it's lesson time. But this is a lesson that I may not feel as apologetic about as I have had, because first of all, this is a very special lesson because this combines maybe the biggest musical breakthrough, at least the biggest one in 10, 15 years I've had, and then not only that, but I'm combining it with theories that have been mentioned and incorporated in the music of the great Joe Satriani, without him knowing about anything I've studied or thought of, and without any intention of deliberately trying to figure out what Joe had said. It just happens that it backs what Joe set up. It backs up what Joe said, and goes right along with it. So, and then I thought about not telling you guys. Document it in case the great Rick Beato or some other of his ilk think of it later and then say that they thought of it first and maybe I did or whatever. I don't care. I'm documenting it anyway, for whether it helps me or not, or whether it helps or not. All right, let's just get right into it. How you guys doing? Happy New Year. I waited till after New Year's to film this. I didn't want to seem like, okay, I'm doing this for while the ball drops. While the ball is dropped, and so Happy New Year. And hope you enjoyed the last Ice 9 video I just did. I think it's all right. Anyway, okay. Let me just get a bearing here. What I'm going to try to do here. All right. The theory that me and Joe, I'm going to kind of combine the two, just to say that I have my theory. Joe has a theory called pitch axis that he got from his high school music teacher, Bill Welscott. But let's just say that it's Joe's theory. Pitch axis theory plus another of Joe's theories is that a person can only remember 11 notes at a time. That combine those two with my theory, and you have a complete theory that I think that is different than anything I've read, or I think it'll be really cool. How about that? Okay, first do 11 notes. Let's do that theory, and then we'll get to what pitch axis is and how Joe uses pitch axis, but doesn't give you more than 11 notes at a time using that technique, and show some examples of that as a backup and a final finale to the lesson. But first, let's go into Joe's idea that there's only 11 notes you can hear at once, combined with my theory. Right? My theory is a thing too. All right, there's the three. The first harmonic interval is the octave. Highest frequency to lowest frequency ratio is 2 to 1. Nothing happens there as far as chords goes because there's only one note. The octave is the same note, and so no big deal. The second most consonant interval is the fifth, the perfect fifth. The ratio of top to bottom note is 3 to 2. Third most consonant interval is the perfect fourth. Ratio from top to bottom is 4 to 3. Those are the two intervals. The fifth is 7 half steps. The fourth is 5 half steps. 7 and 5 make 12, which is a whole octave, which is a perfect fifth and a perfect fourth. Now there's also the 7-note diatonic scale and the 5-note pentatonic scale. It's all going to relate to 7-note interval, which is the perfect fifth, relating to a 7-note scale, which is the diatonic scale, let's say major diatonic major scale, and then the 5 half step interval, which is perfect fourth, relating to the 5-note scale called the minor pentatonic scale. Let's just call that one minor. Let's do the minor one first for some reason. All right. So the minor pentatonic first. Okay, pentatonic. We'll do minor pentatonic first. Now, I said the interval associated with that is the perfect fourth, which is 5 half steps, and there's 5 notes in the scale. So here's how this is how it can be harmonized. I'm gonna do it linear. A fourth is 5 half steps, so then a fourth could be this. But the root in this case. The root is still going to be the highest note in it. I'm going to make the root, this is E and and A. Then it's E. I'm going to make A the root of the arpeggio because I just want to, and it'll even out better. It'll work out. So what I have is A, perfect fourth, and then A is the 1, and if A is the 1, then E is the 5. It's the upper part of a power chord. You can look at it that way. In this case, the power chord would be an A power chord. The upper part would be E to A. I'm going to harmonize this interval, first of all, with a 3-note thing, and then we'll see where we can go from there. I'm going to harmonize it first by adding a minor 7th, which would be a G note, which is a minor 3rd above the E. Another way of playing that would be... There we go. Now what I'm going to do is interesting. I'm going to take this around the circle of fifths, but one step at a time. I'm going to first go down a fifth, which is up a fourth in the circle of fifths, and play that same harmony. That's the notes A, C, and D is the root, because it's the D is the 1, A is the 5, and C would be the minor 7th. I have 3 and 2, and the math is 3 half steps, 2 half steps, then down up a fourth, which is and then 3 half steps and 2 half steps again. And of course, up a fourth is down a fifth in the circle of fifths, but either way you look at it. So then I'm going to take those notes we have just now. What do I have? In a certain way, what I have is an A minor pentatonic scale. Keep going, you get. That up maybe to here. Minor pentatonic scale. Any minor pentatonic scale is the sum of 2 arpeggios that are both divisions of a perfect fourth. And the 2 perfect fourths are a perfect fourth or apart. So the note along with which are both harmonizations of the perfect fourth interval, make a minor pentatonic scale. So far, okay, whatever. But now what I'm going to do is let's what should I do first? Let's harmonize it one step further into a 4-note harmonization by adding a major 6 on each one of those cases and see what we get. Okay? So for the E, I'm going to add a F sharp. Okay? And that will give you, if I go ahead and put that with the G, I get this. Playing that would be blues. And then just like I did before with moving it up a fourth, I'm going to shape up a fourth, and I get this. A, B, C, and D. So that would be as well. And so far with this, what do I get? Well, before I say what I get, let's just hear some of the harmony of it again. That is an A Dorian note. Work it out. I can do this right. Make sure I do that right. wait, no, that's not right. And up here. Is that you can get a diatonic scale, which is Dorian mode is a mode of the C major scale, so it's a diatonic scale. It's called a mode with a slow scale, diatonic scale, based on this 4-part harmonization of the perfect fourth octave, and it's done twice. You do it once, move it up a fourth, combine it. Okay, now, so what I'm going to do, one more thing with this. I'm going to say, what if I take it another step and add another one of these 4-part note things, but this time a fourth down from the original, which would be a fifth up, but I'll say fourth down, and then see what you get. So let me explain. See that visually. I started with this. I added this. I go back to this. What if I go the other direction and add a third? I mean, number 3, 4-part harmonization of the perfect fourth interval. I'll do this. So now I have 3 of them. Now I have more than 7 notes, because if 2 of them make a diatonic 7-note scale, what's adding another one do? It makes an 8-note scale. And this time I added it going the other direction, so the thing I would be adding was E, F sharp, G, A. Wait, I just said that, didn't I? Oops, I goofed. Okay, I was already on that. Take this back. Okay, that would, I didn't write that. I started on D. Let's start on A again. I start with E, I added A, B, C, D. I'm going to go the other direction from the A and go down to C sharp, C sharp, E. Now I have 3. And both A's in the middle, and the other 2 are on a fourth above and a fourth down, or below. And first of all, let me play what that might sound like harmonically. It's very bluesy. What you get, since these 2 sorry, the A's here. Since the A make a Dorian mode, what do you get when you add to that the E one? You're obviously going to get more notes than 7, because when you add 2 of these, 7 notes. How many notes do I have? I now have an 8-note scale. But what is that 8-note scale? It's a Dorian. But what if I added? What if I added to that? Well, since I added the B, C sharp, D, and E, I made an E mixolydian / E Dorian. In other words, it's an E Dorian and an E mixolydian at the same time. Some people have called that E mixodorian, but that's just a made-up word. But whatever, it works for you. That's fine. You have an 8-note scale, which is a Dorian, in this case A Dorian, and a mixolydian. So it has a major third and a minor third, and it's 8 notes, and that's the and it supports the harmony. Supports the full blues harmony, except maybe not adding a diminished fifth yet. That would make it even a 9-note scale, which is sometimes called the composite blues scale. So all the notes you can play in blues, basically. Let's forget about the 5/5 for now. You have 8 notes now, an A mixolydian scale, or if you call it an A Dorian slash A mixolydian scale. And now you have an 8-note scale that started out with fourths and pentatonics and developed into an 8-note grand scale, super scale, that supports a the mixolydian would be Dorian and mixolydian at the same time. So play Dorian, A Dorian. I play a mixolydian. So you have those 8 notes you can do. You can basically do anything you want with blues. I've left out the flat 5, but that's just for now. We can say we can play flat 5 too. Let's just leave that out for now. You have mixolydian, A mixolydian, based on these 3 fourths that are all perfect fourth apart and all harmonized with whole, half, whole, and fourth. And interestingly enough, within that, with an A mixolydian, you have not only A minor pentatonic implied, but you have an A major pentatonic implied, which is an F sharp minor pentatonic. It's all there too. No, that's another way of breaking down A mixolydian. You can think of A mixolydian as mixolydian and Dorian combined. It's also thought of as an A minor pentatonic and an A major pentatonic combined also. It's the same 8 notes. Check it out. And also, A major pentatonic is F sharp minor pentatonic. So if you take a minor pentatonic on A and add those notes to the one that's moved down by minor third, F sharp minor pentatonic, you have an A mixolydian. And voila, guys like Satriani play a lot of diatonic-y mixolydian stuff, and guys like Clapton play a lot of minor pentatonic. Either way, you get the same 8 notes, which also are the same 8 notes of the progression. Basically, I've laid out blues for you. If you follow what I just said, you can't miss. I just didn't add the flat 5 in the thing, but whatever. Put that in if you want. Now you'd have a 9-note composite blues scale. But right now, let's keep it simple and keep it what we've talked about and keep what we understand right now. Because flat 5 note isn't necessary. It's just a color note anyway. It just colors things. So there are blues and pentatonic going from simple to complex, and then the only thing I've left out is the diatonic, which I'm not going to do. Now, if I would just do pentatonic, how many notes can you hear at the same time? 8. But that's not the whole thing. There's also diatonic, and that has more notes than 8. But we'll see if how many notes it has, and see how it compares with Satriani, Joe Satriani's idea that you can only hear 11 notes at a time. I did the easy part first. That was the pentatonic. The diatonic with the pentatonic had the perfect 4th interval. Now the diatonic with the perfect 5th interval, and it gets harder. But let's just try to do it anyway. Clapton does this in he does it in D, but he does it on his solo to Sunshine of Your Love. He's all like this. Oh, sorry. I didn't do very good there. Maybe I did. I don't know. But that was combining D minor with B minor pentatonic, which is also D major pentatonic. It gives you a D mixolydian scale if you put all the notes together, which makes the harmony of. Thing I did, but before, except that was in A before. Now I'm in D. It's the same thing in D. And whereas Vi and Satriani, they're more likely to go in Crossroads. Crossroads is also in D, coincidentally. There's a line that's bluesy. What he does is he goes, he does D mixolydian, and he goes to G mixolydian. Well, the idea of the mixolydian fits a dominant seventh chord because a G mixolydian basically supports a G dominant seventh chord, and then the Dorian part is a Dorian, a D. Let's say a D Dorian supports a D minor seventh chord. So when you take mixolydian and Dorian together, you're supporting a minor seventh chord combined with a dominant seventh chord on the same root. What do you get? Bluesy sound. The Hendrix chord is nothing but a dominant seventh chord with a sharp 9. The sharp 9 is a minor third, so it's basically the Hendrix chord is a minor seventh combined with a dominant seventh on the same root, which is basically a mixodorian chord. It's that simple, but it's also that hard. Here's an E chord is E seventh here because you have and you add a G, which is the minor third, to the chord, which makes an E minor seventh as well as an E dominant seventh, and you get a E Hendrix chord. It's E dominant seventh plus E minor seventh. Chord. Mixodorian chord. Okay, that's it. Mixodorian, and that an E would support an E mixolydian, an E Dorian, because it also supports an E dominant seventh and an E minor seventh. It also supports an E minor seventh. It also supports an E minor. It also supports an E minor pentatonic scale and an E major pentatonic scale, which is also a C sharp minor pentatonic scale. So I'll go over it just in case I lost you. Which is very big. It supports a E Dorian, E mixolydian. Both combined make E mixodorian, and it also supports an E minor pentatonic and an E major pentatonic, which is also C sharp minor pentatonic. And there you have it. Laid the blues out for you. Now I just have to do the diatonic thing. It's harder, but I did the easy part first. I'm trying to be nice. Laid the blues out. It's basically harmonizing a perfect fourth, moved up and down a perfect fourth or fifth along the circle of fifths, and then combining them and adding them all up. And first you can add them all up, break it, and then make it a mixodorian. Then you can break that into mixolydian and Dorian, which is dominant seventh and minor seventh, which gives you a Hendrix chord. You can break it down to minor pentatonic and major pentatonic, which is also minor pentatonic and minor pentatonic and minor third down. And you can break it up all kinds of ways. But I thought all this out, including the major part, which I haven't talked about, including the diatonic part, which I haven't talked about yet, all during karaoke that one night I announced it. And that's why when I did my first two numbers, I was a little bit. I did good for when did I do good? I think I did, one of them I did good. I think it was, I have to think. Anyway, I did one of the numbers good. I think it was Wild Side by Motley Crue, but I could be messed up. I think it was Wild Side by Motley Crue, but I'll have to see. I'll have to check the videos later. I think it was Wild Side. I think that was. Okay, now the diatonic thing. All right, the diatonics will be based on the interval of the fifth, which is 7 half steps, and diatonic scale there's 7 notes. We're going to get to see how much we can stretch a major scale, our diatonic major scale, which I'll just call major scale, and see how many notes I can finally get it around it, and then see how many notes we can hear, and compare that to 12, which is all there is, and see what happens. We can try that, guys. All right. This time I'm going to try. I'm going to try D as the root this time, and so I'm going to have D and a perfect fifth above it, which is A. Now, if I have D, I'm going to make D the root. I'm first going to harmonize it with a. I'm going to do major. Let's do that. Make it sound better. Harmonize that with a major triad. So it's going to be D. So it's major third, minor third, or 4 and 3. Makes 7. Simple. That's just a D major. Like I did with the other one, I'm going to move it up a fourth. That gives me G major triad. Now, only 2. This time I get to do 3 because there are 3 chords in it. It takes 3 triads to make a diatonic scale, not just 2 like the pentatonic thing with the 4th chord. Add a 3rd triad on A major triad. So what I have is, that's D major, G major, back to D major, and then A major. What do you get as a D major scale? So that's basically I get a major scale from three major triads, which is the division of a division of a perfect fifth. Three of them that are in order on the circular fifths, and you get a D major scale. Like I stretched the pentatonic, I'm going to stretch this guy too. I'm not content with just having a major scale. I'm going to add minors. I'm going to divide it again, like I did the fourths into the four intervals. I'm going to divide the fifth again into four, and so I'm going to make a minor triad out of it. Simple enough? All right. Here's your D. It's a D major first. Now I'm going to make D minor, which is D, F, and A. Combine that with the major, which has D, F sharp, and A, and you get a. I'm going to call it a major minor triad. It's not a triad because it's 4 notes. So a major minor tetrad. That means 4 notes. Major minor tetrad. So wait, I have 4. 1, no, sorry. 3, 1, 3. Divide the 7 into. A minor major tetrad. No, that's D. D minor major tetrad. That would be this. Space Odyssey 2001. Anyway, that's that. And then when I go to the G, I'm going to have the same thing. I'm going to have G minor and G major combination. That's going to be a G minor major tetrad. So G minor major, same time. And then on the A, an A minor, so it makes an A minor major tetrad on A. Basically, I have a D minor major, a G minor major, A minor major, and then G minor major. What I get when I take all this together is a combined D minor and D natural. No, a combined D major and D natural minor scale. It's a minor major. It's a minor major diatonic scale. So basically, it's D major. With D minor. So it's D, you could call it D minor major diatonic superscale. But the thing is, how many notes does that scale have? Well, the diatonic scale has 7 notes, we know that. And it's 3 major triads in consecutive circular fifths order. When I add the minor triads to it, make it minor also, then I get 3 minor triads. The same roots in consecutive fifths orders, that makes a D natural minor scale. So to combine both, I get a D major minor diatonic scale, but how many notes do I have? Well, if I have 7 with 3 triads, and I add 3 minor triads that each have a different extra note, then I have 7 plus 1, 8, 2, 9, 3, 10 notes total there. Because if I start with 7 notes with the major and add the minors, which adds 3 more, I get 7 plus 3, which is 10 notes. So check this out. A scale on D that's major and minor diatonic combined has 10 notes in it. I'm only going to do one other trick. I can play that as D major and minor separately, or I can try to combine them all 10. I'm going to just do it separately. You geniuses try to figure out how to do it all 10. The major is D major triad, D major scale, and added to D minor scale. 10 notes. pitch axis here because I'm already putting pitch axis is similar to what I'm doing. It's D major and D natural minor. That's already pitch axis of D because the pitch axis is basically multi-modes with all the same root note, and then you go back and forth between them but keep the same root note. Joe called it a combination of modulation and drone. It's modulation because you're changing keys, and it's drone because they all rooted on one note. They're like a drone. But I'm going to do one more thing. That's 10 notes so far. We think we can handle this. But just like I did 3 perfect fourth things to stretch it more than just a diatonic 7-note scale with the pentatonic I did with the fourths. I have added another one to stretch it. Well, now I have 3 minor major tetrads. I'm going to stretch to one more. Let's do one more. Let's say we can do that. I'm going to make it a C minor major tetrad because first you have the D one. I went up and did a G. Back to D. I went down and did an A. I'm going to go back to the D. Back to the G. And for some reason I'm going to add another one, even a fourth above that, which would be C minor major tetrad. Now I have 4 chords that are all related by consecutive perfect fifths that all have a minor and a major chord on them. And then I'm going to add them all together, and how many notes do you think I get? Well, first let's hear what it sounds like, basically. Your D, let's see if I can do this here. Let's see, the D major minor is this. Remember I had a C major minor that I just added. The D major minor. The G minor major. G minor major. So 4 chords that both have a major and a minor triad on each of the 4 roots of chords. So that could be put harmonically the different way. I could go like this. I could go. If you have 4 chords. Each of those chords can be minor and major both at the same time. How many notes do I have? Well, if I had 10 from 3 consecutive perfect fifths, they each have a minor major tetrad on them, and I add a 4th one that's a perfect fourth away from the others, I just get one more note. And what is 10 notes added to it with one more note? That's 11 notes, and that's how many notes we can hear in Western music according to Joe Satriani. Basically, what Joe is saying is that if you take all the notes we can hear at once, they just make 4 chords in order, circle of fifths, with each one having a major and a minor triad. That's all we can hear. 11 notes. That's 11 notes we can hear in Western music, and that's how you break it down, and that's how you can break it down in terms of harmony and major. And I'll just play something musical, but not be more musical than I've been doing with that. Let's just try often we hear, and this is very common in rock, believe it or not, rather than 3. Why do you always hear? That's 4 chords. It's A. How about wild thing? That's the G is the 4th chord. It's not really in the scale. It makes one more note than a major scale can handle, which would really make it 8 notes. But then if you add the minors along with that, you get 3 more to make 11 notes. That's all the notes we can hear in music. And that means that When Joe does his pitch axis, which is all the modes over one root, he tries not to give you more than 11 notes at a time. I'm going to show you some examples of that. If you give all 12 notes, it's too many. We get confused. It's a long story, but we just can't do it. Let me get some examples of how Joe uses this, and he never gives you more than 11 notes. Let's see how he even pushes it. Sometimes he gives you 10, sometimes 11, sometimes 9, but never gives you all 12. It's too much. That's first of all, there's the tapping thing in Satch Boogie. I'm not going to do that because it's more of a lead thing. It's not so strict harmonically because all those things. So just skip that. I'm going to do the things where he does things compositionally. Not of the Surf. First song, first album, title track of the first album. Just like this. To make a long story short, if I can, they're all based on E, and the modes are Lydian, Aeolian, Lydian, mixolydian. If you take those three modes, E, Lydian, and then add to that all the notes in E, Aeolian, and then you go back to E, Lydian again. And add all the notes in E mixolydian. Those notes only go from E Lydian to E Aeolian, or backwards, E Aeolian to E Lydian. Check it out. That's only 11 notes. He doesn't go E Lydian to E Phrygian. Shit, that's all 12 notes. Can't handle it. But he can go to E Lydian, then E Aeolian. That adds 4 more notes to the E Lydian. That makes 11 notes. Then back to the E Lydian. Then E Lydian to E mixolydian. That would only add 2 more notes. So you'd have 9 notes with just those 2. But then back to E Lydian, and then E Lydian to E Aeolian is 11 notes. E Aeolian, then E Aeolian back to E Lydian, and E Lydian to E mixolydian is again 9 notes. All those 7 notes in the E Lydian, plus extra 4 notes that added to that if you go to E Aeolian, and then the extra, and then back to the E Lydian, and then the extra 2 notes, which are part of the 2 notes that you have in Aeolian. In the E mixolydian, you have 7 plus 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 notes. You can hear it and make music out of it because it's only 11 notes. He doesn't give you the extra note. In this case, it'd be the note F. You couldn't handle that. I'm not even going to do it. You're talking atonality, chromaticism. Arnold Schoenberg and Webern and Berg, they all tried that with a 12-tone row and all that. It kind of flopped, but if it's your thing, go ahead. But it's not musical because you can't hear all the 12 notes you're listening to. It becomes an intellectual exercise and therefore very boring. And then play 11 notes, you can do it. Another example Joe does, I'm trying to go fast with this. I know it's going to be like a 10-hour thing. I'm going to do the one, there's one called With Jupiter in Mind from Crystal Planet that uses E Lydian and E Dorian. Well, that's only 10 notes, because if you take E Lydian, let's do E Lydian, E Lydian, then you add E Dorian. E Dorian to E Lydian only adds 3 more notes to it, so we only have 10 notes, so you can do it. I think he goes like this for the melody. Let's try this. song in like 10 years. I'm just going with what I remember, and it could be all messed up phrasing wise, but that's basically the gist of it. Together, think missing out. E Dorian. How about making an E Dorian with a Lydian there? The kind of Led Zeppelin with Joe Satriani added, kind of cool, but to be out there for some people. I like it, but only 10 notes there. The last thing I'm going to do, some of the Ice 9 that I just did. My fourth take and final. I did all right. I mean, it could have been perfect, but I think I did okay. There's pitch-shaftness in that too, as far as not just the soloing, but the chord structure. And people, I think this goes over most people's heads. Maybe, and I know Joe knew about it, but I don't think it's out there too much. Let's just go for it so we can know it. The part is like. What's that there? That's a C-sharp version of what I just did in E. Jupiter in Mind was E Lydian and E Dorian. Well, Nice 9 is C-sharp Lydian to C-sharp Dorian. That's what those iced chords are. It's C-sharp Lydian to C-sharp Dorian. And Lydian to Dorian was only 10 notes with Jupiter in Mind, so it's only 10 notes with Ice 9. He only gave you 10 notes there. Brilliant. He's adding 10 notes divided into two modes, which is C-sharp Lydian and C-sharp Dorian, which is a pitch after sing on C-sharp is great. And once more, and he does it even later in the song too. So every time he goes, it's ice chords. These ice chords here is cool too, but that's not my topic, and I may not tell you what those are right now. But they're part of the ice thing. It's when he goes like this. That's a Dorian thing. It's basically it's a C-sharp minor 6. It's a C-sharp minor with an added 6 up and down, which makes a C-sharp minor 6 altogether. C-sharp minor 6 can also be C-sharp minor 6 could also be considered an A-sharp minor 7 flat 5. Sorry, it just is. Or you can think of a C-sharp minor 6, or you can think of a C minor with a 6 back and forth. Okay, fair enough. When I say 6, okay, good enough. But later in the song, he does also pitch actress. He's still in C sharp, and he goes. Okay, that's a treat too. And I don't know. I know Joe knew this, but I don't think it's out there what he was doing there and how that's pitch actress. Let's do it. It's in C sharp, so we have a G sharp major, that's the 5 chord. F sharp major is the 4 chord. G sharp major is the tonic chord. So basically I'm just in 1, 4, 5 in, or in this case 5, 4, 1 in C sharp major. Let's try that. Sorry. That's G sharp major, G sharp major, C sharp major. That's just C sharp major. No big deal. But then he does this. What's this? Chord in C sharp makes it a C sharp Aeolian mode. I'm sorry, it just does. And C sharp Aeolian combined with C sharp major makes 10 notes so far. But that's not more than 11, so you can do it. So it's 10 notes so far if I play this. That A is a 4 chord compared to the C sharp 1 chord, which makes it a C sharp Aeolian, which combined with the C sharp Ionian makes it a 10 note thing so far. But I'm going to do one more thing. Let's hear what he does next. plays a D sharp major now. Well, compared to C sharp, that makes it a C sharp Lydian, because a C sharp Lydian has a D sharp major in it, chord in it. Well, C sharp Lydian is one more sharp than C sharp Ionian, and when I had C sharp Ionian and C sharp Aeolian, I had 10 notes. So if I add another note by making it, instead of C sharp Ionian, I make it C sharp Lydian, I make it from C sharp Lydian to C sharp Aeolian, and that makes 11 notes. Another way of looking at that is you went from C sharp Ionian to C plus C sharp Aeolian, which made 10 notes. But when you make the Ionian to a Lydian, I get C sharp Lydian to C sharp Aeolian, and that makes 11 notes, which we can handle, but it's not more than 11 notes. He's a genius. Let's try the whole thing. I'm going to do that too. So this is C sharp Aeolian, C sharp Lydian implies. Then he goes, call that just C sharp major again. It's still within our range. Then he goes, let's break that down. And he goes like this. C major chord over C sharp. I'm going to make that a C sharp Aeolian. I'm going to just say that. In our range, you can have C sharp Ionian, C sharp Aeolian, C sharp Lydian, and C sharp. I already said Ionian, didn't I? So I have C sharp Aeolian, C sharp Lydian, C sharp Ionian, and I still only have 11. I still only have 11 notes. He didn't break our rule. Check it out. I'm right. But then he goes from this major. He goes to a G major. What's that? Well, that's a major dominant chord in the key of C sharp major. I mean C sharp minor. So that makes it a C sharp harmonic minor. Let's say that again. A G sharp major is a major 5 chord of C sharp minor. But if it's a major 5, what does that make it in C sharp? A harmonic major, harmonic minor, because a harmonic minor scale is a minor scale or a lemma with the raised 7th, and the raised 7th implies the major dominant chord. So when I go to G sharp major, that implies C sharp harmonic minor scale. But even adding a harmonic minor is only an Aeolian mode with the major 7th added. But major 7th has already been implied by the C sharp Ionian, which has a major 7th, and the C sharp Lydian, which has a major 7th. So I haven't gone out of our range. So everything I just did, still 11 notes. Very, very clever. I mean, who does that? And yet it goes over people's heads. But I got it, and Joe had it. It's really cool. That's my thing with Joe's thing. So once again, C sharp Ionian, C sharp Aeolian, D sharp major makes it C sharp Lydian. Wait, no, sorry, back to the A. Let's do it again. Makes it C sharp Aeolian, D sharp makes it C sharp Lydian. Major, still within our range, then harmonic minor, and then back to the top. So all that garble, whatever, it sounds beautiful to me, but whatever, is all within the range of 11 notes, because the furthest you went, you only had C sharp Ionian, C sharp Aeolian, and C sharp Lydian, and C sharp harmonic minor. Those are all within range of 11 notes. He didn't give you, what note didn't he give you? He didn't give you the D note. We wouldn't have been able to handle that. That would have made all 12 notes, and we're screwed. But he left out the D note, only gave us 11 notes. I love you guys. Peace, rock, and roll. There's a clever melody. That's beautiful too. I hope this has been an enjoyable lesson. I just laid out my theory along with Joe Satriani. Love you guys. Peace, rock, and roll. Have a great night. Happy New Year, everybody. Love you guys.